Hello, everybody, and welcome to the RNC second debate, the drinking game. For all of you out there that don't know who I am, pardon my look tonight. I'm not at my best in terms of appearance, but we're gonna work through this. It's a couple of minutes before the debate starts, and again, I'm on my phone and I'm going to be listening to the debate on my computer because I still can't figure out how to share screens on StreamYard. Um, so don't know what to tell you all until I figure that out. Pretty sure there's a YouTube video about it, but I've been so busy lately, haven't watched anything. So, um, before I get started, definitely bug somebody, let them know that I'm here. Hopefully others join in. I see we already have some people that have started to watch. Um, we got another 10 minutes to go before we get started. So I'm going to briefly tell you how this drinking game is going to work. So I have this is water. I'm pretty sure I'm going to drink all of this by the time the debate comes on because for some reason I ate something salty and I'm extremely thirsty. But we got some suggestions, um, which I'm gonna do. Yes, if Hunter Biden, thank you, Parker. Hey, how you doing? So if Hunter Biden is mentioned, take one sip, and he says drink, I say sip. Anytime Hunter Biden is mentioned, um, take two drinks anytime transgenderism, woke ideology, or critical race theory is mentioned, and take a drink every time Vivek Ramaswamy picks a fight with DeSantis. I got some other ones. Anytime somebody talks about the border, take two sips. If somebody talks about the border, whether it's Israel's border against Palestine, um, mostly our border against Mexico, but for some reason never Canada, take two sips. If Tim Scott, Asa Hutchinson, and that one guy from North Dakota says anything, take two sips. Um, if Nikki Haley implies misogyny, take a sip. And if if they start off the evening with the Pledge of Allegiance or God Bless America or something like that, take a sip. So we're gonna have a good time. I'm telling you now. Oh wait a minute. So Asa Hutchinson is not on the debate stage. He did not qualify. The the qualifications are different this time because he was there last time, right? So how did he? Okay, I'm not gonna ask. So we can't take a drink every time Asa Hutchinson says something. But it's the guy from North Dakota there. Because if the guy from North Dakota is there, that one still goes. Um, So it's going to be an interesting debate. Again, I'm not going to stay on the whole debate. I have to be to work tomorrow. So I need to be in bed about 10:45. No, about 11 o'clock. I'm going to try to stay up until about 10:50, maybe getting it close to 11 as I possibly can. Um, like I said, I'm going to try to make it, but I'm telling you that I am already sleepy. I am so sleepy. I have been so tired this morning. It rained, so um I'm just like drained of energy for some reason, and it happens when it rains. But it's cold, which I enjoy because it's not heat. But yeah, not gonna stay up for the whole 3 hours and the post shows and all that. But I'll do another video Saturday, probably talking about my thoughts. Watch the whole thing. But this live will not unless they just start just just going at each other like last time. So I don't I'm trying to think, and I'm probably gonna eat a cookie. I'm telling you now, I got my cookie. Um, um, trying to think of what else is going on besides the debate. Oh, if they talk about union workers, that's another one. If they talk about union workers, just go get a gallon of water and drink the whole thing. Because I promise the union workers are gonna come up. Um, I don't know. This is now Trump. I know won't be at this debate. Pretty sure he probably won't be at any of them. Um, but we don't know. So we got about 7 minutes to go, and I'm trying to think of who else. So Doug Burringham, I don't know how to pronounce this man's name. Um, is on the stage. Well, let me look. So I'm turning on there now. There's another 5 minutes until this thing starts. For Junior and Kellyanne Conway and you probably won't be able to hear my TV because I'm not watching the TV. I'm doing this on my computer. So I'm just kind of umming because I'm wanting them to get started. So if you could pick any two of the Republican candidates except Trump to do a one-on-one debate for pure entertainment purposes, who would it be? Are you talking about for me to debate against? Boy, that's a good question. I gotta go Tim Scott because he never gets picked, so I feel like I gotta pick him. And Nikki Haley because I think I could easily beat her. I see some other people that dropped in here. Hey Mac, how are you? Oh no, for them to just debate each other. Okay, got it. So you don't think I can debate? Okay, that's fine. Who would I pick? I would pick Vivek the Snake. I mean Vivek Ramaswamy and Chris Christie. I would have to. Those two are the most entertaining people to watch debate each other, and it's like hilarious. Ramaswamy because he literally kisses Trump's behind the whole time, and Christie because he's like the exact opposite. He was a pundit of the left. Now because he hates Trump, like they hate Trump, they of course embrace him now. So there's that. So this is supposed to start in 2 minutes, and it's like they're taking their time. I'm sorry to eat a cookie, but I gotta do something while I'm sitting here waiting. So if Asa didn't make it, who else is not going to be in the debate? And I'll say this: yes, I'm throwing shade. At least they're having a debate. I'm trying to think of who else I want to debate each other. That would be the only two, because all the rest of them are just like snooze fest. I don't even want to hear DeSantis talk. I don't even like he is so rigid and stiff, and it's just like nothing. He has nothing. I'm just like, how? He's governor of Florida, which I guess that's a battle. No, Florida's not a battleground state. Florida's a red state. And that's basically all he has is woke. That's his whole campaign. That's his whole spiel. That's his whole platform. His whole ideology is just anti-woke. So it's supposed to be on now. And it's still not on. Oh, this is gonna be on the Fox Business channel. Okay, I'm waiting, guys, on this, and this is just not coming up the way I want. Okay, so it says it hasn't aired yet, and it's 9 o'clock. So basically, if you're supposed to start it, Tracy, which TEP? Um, I don't know what TEP means. So you'll have to explain. And hey, Stanley, what's up? Okay, I read that he fired 2 of the state attorney generals that were elected by voters. Yeah, he does that stuff all the time because they let him get away with whatever. Which Republicans do you want to hear? I technically don't want to hear from any of them. I wish, since we always, we have a party that gaslights. Hold on a sec. We have a party that gaslights democracy, but apparently doesn't believe in democracy. So if the Democrats had any kind of spine, they would actually have a debate, and I would cover that too. If the Green Party has a debate, I'll cover that. If the Libertarians have a debate, which I think they will, so I know I'll be covering that. So yes, Parker, they always have to. But do you think that some of them have been like they now honor Trump more than they honor Ronald Reagan? Because I think some of them do. I literally, yeah, this is still they're running late or something. Um, yeah, it's just entertainment. I didn't think the last one was going to be that entertaining. And let me tell you all, I had whew, I had a dizzy, but I just did. I was so entertained by that last one. I mean, they were arguing and clawing, and none of them, like if you put all of them together, they are barely beating Trump. Like his lead keeps increasing, increasing, increasing. Like, I'm not saying go away, I suppose, but the person in the lead by a bunch. And so remember, hopefully y'all remember our if Ron DeSantis or anybody says, let me go back, because Parker kind of started us off with the if Hunter Biden is mentioned, take a sip of a drink. And I have water. Take 2 sips every time somebody says anything about woke ideology or critical race theory. Take a drink every time Vivek Ramaswamy picks a fight with DeSantis. And I said take a sip and I forgot what I said because I didn't write it down, but I'll remember it as we go along. So hey Marlon, I didn't know you were gonna watch. I didn't even think of inviting people, not that you would have came possibly, but yeah, this has not started yet. But the last one was it was highly entertaining. I didn't think, I thought, well, without Trump, because he's gonna do some name calling, some low shot blowing. They made it like worth watching. And for the people that are watching this, subscribe to my channel. I keep losing subscribers. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I keep losing subscribers. So if you're already subscribed, tell a friend of yours to subscribe. Because I keep losing subscribers and I don't know why. I'm so sweet and I'm so kind. Um, I don't know why I keep losing subscribers, but please subscribe. Um, Bottom line is democracy has always been feared since the beginning. I'm talking Jamestown days. Marlon says, let me know when the real fight begins. I already did that. For some reason, Parker is being booed. To me, it's just a gone conclusion because Trump is getting kicked off the ballot in Colorado and he can't swing enough votes in the electoral college because Colorado is a swing state. So Biden has a lock in the election. Oh, so now they finally started. Okay, so looks like they're from. Nope, it's not. Parker, you said they're starting. But I don't even see anybody coming on here. Hold on a second. Okay, let me go back because boy, they are not. Okay, so looks like they're finally starting. I guess we're supposed to clap because Biden joined the picket lines. Yay.
Postal workers today. Obviously, the President of the United States cannot anybody in the private sector. However, we should look back at the first bill in Congress under Joe Biden. The first bill had $86 billion for the union pensions because they continue to overpromise yet underdeliver. One of the challenges that we have in the current negotiations is that they want 4-day French work weeks, but more money. They want more benefits, working fewer hours. That is simply not going to
Yep, Parker, I'm about to drink my gallon. I'm going to be going to the bathroom all night. All this water I'm planning on drinking.
Pensions from the unions, $4,000 a month. Unfortunately, it had been cut to $1,000 a month. We must make sure that we honor the commitments that we make, and one of the ways that we do that, do not overpromise and then underdeliver and leave the taxpayers.
Is Tim Scott trying to grow a mustache? I don't know why I noticed that.
He should be on the southern border, close our southern border because it is.
Oh, southern border. Drink of water, everybody. Southern border.
7,000 Americans in the last 12 months. It's a fentanyl. It is devastating.
How do you jump from unions to fentanyl?
Because fentanyl has devastated Americans in every single state. I will also say 6 million illegal crossings since Joe Biden has taken office, and he eliminated Title 42. The one thing
he didn't eliminate 42, he expanded it. Are you kidding?
Title 42.
Oh my gosh, they already starting off line. He did not expand 42. Title 42, he expanded.
But in the meantime, we do want to talk about the economy and jobs, and especially want to talk about this strike just a moment more. Mr. Ramaswamy, you've said you really empathize with the strikers. We're standing next to Senator Scott. Did you agree with what he said, or do you think he's wrong?
I agree with some of what he said, for sure. I like the spirit of it. I'll say that I don't have a lot of patience for the union bosses. I think that's where he and I actually have a common view. I do have a lot of sympathy for the
But he had expanded it at times. But Biden didn't end it. The Supreme Court did. Thank you for the correction, Parker.
Stared down layoffs at GE under Jack Welch's tenure at the GE plant in Evendale, Ohio.
There's Vivek the Snake.
In nursing homes in Southwest Ohio to make ends meet and pay off our home loan. So I understand that hardship is not a choice, but victimhood is a choice. And we choose to be victorious in the United States of America. You know what, if I was giving advice to those workers, I would say go picket in front of the White House in Washington, D.C. That's really where the protest needs to be. Disastrous economic policies that have driven up prices, that have driven up interest rates and mortgage rates.
Okay.
At the same time, wages remaining stagnant. We need economic growth.
You talking about firing 75% of federal workers?
Burn coal, embrace nuclear energy. People back to work by no longer paying them more money to stay at home.
Yeah, that's $300. That'll do it right there.
And rescind a majority of those unconstitutional federal regulations that are
yeah, that whole.
That is how we unleash American exceptionalism, and that's not a democratic vision, a Republican vision. That is an American vision that we increase economic growth and capitalism is still the best system known to man.
No, it's not. It's terrible.
Poverty, and we should not.
Yeah, that's why we have so many homeless people, because capitalism. Shut up.
3 days as 4 Stellantis, 336 times the number of rank-and-file workers. That's just part of the wider income inequality trend in the country. The richest 1% now controls.
I said this and people said, you just I'm glad somebody else pictured it like I did. Thank you, Stanley.
With American workers, you also support how these companies operate. Which is it?
Well, thank you for the question.
Oh, Mike Pence. Oh, man, I'm sitting here sleepy and they're going to put this guy on TV.
Look, I do disagree with something too. Joe Biden doesn't belong on a picket line. He belongs on the employment line. From the second leading manufacturing state in the country, and he's governor of the state of Indiana.
Boo! Still don't know how we elected your sorry behind.
I know something about manufacturing. And I got to tell you, while the union bosses are talking about class warfare and talking about disparity in wages, I have to tell you, I really believe what's driving that is Bidenomics is failing. Wages are not keeping up with inflation. Auto workers and all Americans are feeling it. Families are struggling in this. And Joe Biden's Green New Deal agenda is good for business.
The Green New Deal isn't even a thing. You can't repeal something that isn't law. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Into the graveyard. And beyond that, also, as President of the United States, I'll be standing with workers across America, and I'll be standing for the right to work of every American.
That means fire.
Join a union as they decide.
Senator Scott,
Joe Biden needs to be fired. That's why I'm running for president. I look forward to being the next president of the United States.
Boy, you ain't got a chance in all the hippies of me.
What she's done for me.
Thank you, Stanley, again. You making some good points out here.
America we all love. Growing up in a single-parent household, I wonder if the American dream for a kid in the inner city. I've got good news for every single child, whether you're in the inner cities of Chicago or the rural parts of Iowa. America and the dream, it is alive, it is well, and it is healthy. God bless these United States of America.
If he don't get his behind off the stage.
I think we need to understand exactly what happened. Biden showed up on that picket line. But why are those workers actually there? It's because of all of the spending that he has pushed through in the economy that's raised the inflation. So when you look at the fact that we are paying higher gas prices, higher grocery prices.
Thank you, Parker. Ain't nobody vote for him. He needs to literally get out the race, but he's running for VP. That's what he's really running for.
The gas and diesel tax so that they have more money in their pocket. Let's focus on going after middle America.
Yeah, when these comments are cracking me up. Cracking me up.
Let's get rid of unfair distortions like the state and local tax that they give.
Yeah, get rid of taxes. That's how roads don't get built.
Red states. And let's make sure we make the small business taxes permanent. They only made those temporary. They made the corporate taxes permanent. Let's focus on what it takes to get more cash in the pockets of workers. That's when we'll be able to deal with strikes like this, not sitting on a picket line like Joe Biden.
Thank you, Governor Haley. We have other questions to get to about economy. Allow me to. I'm sorry.
We're missing the point, and every other network is missing the point. The reason why people are striking in Detroit is because Joe Biden's interference with capital markets and with free markets. The subsidies, we're subsidizing the automakers and we're subsidizing the cars, and a particular kind of car, not every car. We're subsidizing electric vehicles. And when you decide that we're going to take all of your taxpayer monies, take $1 billion, subsidize a certain type of vehicle, and the batteries come.
Oh, he talked to everybody. 2 cents. The guy from North Dakota is talking.
China is moving 100,000 pounds of earth in Indonesia, in Africa. They're literally destroying the planet so that we can make a battery that's in a car subsidized here. That's why they're striking, because they need 2/3 less workers to build an electric car. Joe Biden, this strike is at Joe Biden's feet.
Allow me to follow the follow question to Governor Christie. The government will shut down if Congress does not reach a deal.
Oh, government shutdown. See, my water already gone.
Warns that politics of Trump's populist proteges, like Mr. Ramaswamy, are a road to ruin for the GOP. If the government shuts down, should voters blame populist Republicans?
Voters should blame everybody who's in Washington, D.C. They get sent down there to do the job, and they've been failing at doing the job for a very long time. And let's be honest about this with the voters. You know, during the Trump administration, they added $7 trillion. $7 trillion in national debt.
Okay.
Biden administration
Gotta go get some more water. I need this to be gone.
They have failed, and they're in the spot they're in now because none of them are willing to tell the truth. None of them are willing to take on the difficult issues. They just want to keep kicking the can down the road. And the inflation that Nikki spoke about is absolutely right. It's caused by government spending. And that's
government spending
across this country are suffering.
Oh my gosh.
We don't get any answers because Joe Biden hides in his basement and won't answer as to why he's raising the debt the way he's done. And Donald Trump hides behind the walls of his golf clubs and won't show up here to answer questions like all the rest of us are up here to answer. He put $7
Hey, has DeSantis spoke?
in this room to answer those questions for the people talking about suffering.
Oh, here they come. They got to jump in to defend Trump. They got to jump in to defend Trump.
It is to the blame of everyone in Washington, D.C. who has failed to do their job and just plays to the grandstand.
How they gonna all be?
You haven't spoken.
Washington are shutting down the American dream with their reckless behavior. They borrow.
Oh, look at why is DeSantis moving his hands like this? Like he's copying.
Shut down our national sovereignty.
On the borders.
So please spare me the crocodile tears for these people. They need to change what's going on. And where's Joe Biden? He's completely missing in action from leadership. And you know who else is missing in action? Donald Trump is missing.
Oh, he criticized Trump. Wait a minute.
His record, where they added $7.8 trillion to the debt, that set the stage for the inflation that we have now. I can tell you this: as governor of Florida, we cut taxes, we ran surpluses, we paid down over 25% of our state debt.
But you still have 75%.
When it came to my desk, and as your president, when they send me a bloating spending bill that's going to cause your prices to go up.
Yes, he does, Parker. That's why it leads to inflation or whatever he said. I can't believe DeSantis just called out Trump. I'm like, wait a minute.
Childcare costs, they're topping $10,000 per month.
Look, they got a black.
Up to half of their income on childcare, and they're having to decide: is it worth it for me to work, or does it not make sense for me financially? In 3 days, the billions of dollars in pandemic-era funding is going to end, and 70,000 daycares could close.
Yeah.
So you had an effort to broaden eligibility for childcare assistance that fell apart last year. And for the moms and dads out there who are worried, what can you tell them if you weren't able to get it through the Congress? How could you do it as president?
Certainly one of the things I did as a member of Congress was to make sure that we protected the Head Start programs around the country, giving people the opportunity to pick and choose the place that they send their children. The challenges that we see today under the Biden administration is that the cost for daycare has gone over $15,000 per child. In the Build Back Broker plan, he called it the Build Back Better plan, it was going up to $29,000.
He's good at outlining the problems, but ain't so good at giving solutions.
Actually cut taxes and get more of their money back. I helped write the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. Actually lowered a single mother's taxes by 70%.
Like what? Is no single fathers?
For dual income households by 60%.
Hey, it's 6 of us here. Me 7. Yay! Tell your friends I'm on.
And made it refundable. By doing that, parents had more resources to make the decisions how to take care of their family. The one thing we should do is let the American people keep their money. When that happens, the greatest opportunities rise from the ashes.
Okay, 15 seconds. Go ahead.
No, Stanley, he can't say that.
Mischaracterized in my view. I think this artificial division is unhealthy. You know, the real divide is not between the Republicans on this stage. And in the Reagan Library, I want to say these are good people on this stage. The real divide is between the majority of us in this country who love the United States of America and share our founding
Look
ideals.
at Remo, Vivek the snake trying to be Obama.
Not on the color of your skin, but on the content of your character.
Stop misquote.
Minority in the Democrat Party that has a chokehold on that party. That's the real divide. So this populist versus classical debate is artificial. We need to unite this party.
Oh no, here come the border. Yeah, we can be taken.
We have all these questions. We're going to get to you. We're going to come back to you. There's a lot of time.
In North Dakota, we knew that the cliff was coming. We knew that there was going to be millions of people without it. And so guess what? We planned.
Okay.
When we passed legislation.
Oh my gosh, shut up. Oh y'all, shut up. Shut up.
Idea of amnesty for those who have put down roots and who have lived here, even though sometime back they may have entered illegally.
2 years later, President Reagan granted amnesty to nearly 3 million immigrants, something no Democrat or Republican president has done since. Governor Christie, as governor of a non-border state in 2010, you supported a path to citizenship. But when you ran for president in 2016, you flipped, saying,
Sorry to talk so
loud.
loud.
Like FedEx packages.
I do have the volume up. Sorry.
To
Let me
citizenship
see.
for 11 million.
Hold on,
Has
y'all.
done anything since we first had this discussion 13 years ago. We're not in a position to be able to do any of that anymore. What we have to do now is first treat this like the law enforcement problem it is. Our laws are being broken every day at the southern border, every day. And Joe Biden and his crew is doing nothing about enforcing that law. They are letting it go. And by the way, they announced during the presidential race they were going to let it go. And we need to have a president who acts like I did as governor, enforce the law first and foremost. And that means what I'll do on day one is sign an executive order to send the National Guard to partner with Customs and Border Patrol to make sure that we stop the flow of fentanyl over the border, but also to make sure that we send a much different message. We want you here in this country to fill the 6 million vacant jobs we have, but only if you come here to follow the law and only if you come here legally. If you come here illegally, we will apprehend you and we will send you back across the border from
But
which
we
you
ruined
came.
all of those
And the
countries.
fact is
That's
that
why
until
they're
we set
coming
a law and
here.
order agenda in this country, not only now but in the future, we won't be able to continue this. And I'll tell you this: Donald Trump failed on this as well. He said he was going to build a wall across the whole border. He built 52 miles of wall and said Mexico would pay for it. Guess what? I think if Mexico knew that he was only going to build 52 miles, they might have paid for the 52 miles.
Thank you, Governor. Governor Haley. Most immigrants are coming from countries south of the border. You've seen the Fox News drone. It's captured the steady stream of people coming into the country on a daily basis. In fact, I believe we have a live picture of it tonight that is happening right now, live. In the last decade, the U.S. has spent nearly $55 billion to address the root causes of migration. But crime, poverty, and corruption, they persist, and the number of migrants is only growing. Are we wasting our money?
Well, what happens is when Joe Biden waved the green flag, it told everybody to come. And now we've seen 6 million people cross the border. We've had more fentanyl that have killed Americans in the Iraq, Vietnam,
Fentanyl
or
is made
Afghanistan
in.
wars combined. We need to
I
make sure
can't,
that we are
y'all.
a country of
I
laws.
can't.
The second we stop being a country of laws, we give up everything this country was founded on. So we have to secure the border. The way we do that is, first of all, defund sanctuary cities. You see what's happening in Philadelphia right now. It's not a stop. We need to make sure we put ICE agents on the ground and let them do their job. I spent 400 miles down that border, and I'm telling you, Border Patrol agents aren't allowed to do their job. Let's go back to remain in Mexico policy. Instead of catch and release, let's go to catch and deport. And let's make
What about the aid that federal taxpayers are paying to deal with the root causes? It's not working.
the
Or is it?
only aid that we should be spending right now is to secure the border, the southern border, the northern border, period.
Oh, she put the northern border in there.
And right now, Americans are not safe. Only when we fix the immigration system, only when we get the border secure, should we ever look at putting any more money into this. Our money should be about keeping Americans safe. We're not doing that. Joe Biden's not doing that. And you mentioned Congress and shutting down government. I'll make it clear. We have to change the budget process in 4 years. In 40 years, Congress has only delivered a budget on time 4 times in 40 years. If they don't keep the government open, they should not get paid. No pay, no budget. That's the way we should do it.
Oh boy, they saying a whole lot of stuff they know they ain't gonna do.
China invested $12 billion in Latin America just last year. They signed strategic partnerships with 7 countries, including Mexico. And China's military ties to the region now include arms sales and training exercises. Are you comfortable with China deepening ties with our southern neighbors?
Of course not. And
China.
The reason why we're in this mess is because elites
2
in
gallons
DC
of water.
for far too long have chosen surrender over strength when it comes to the CCP. Some people in our country got rich, our industrial base got hollowed out, and they have been able to build the second most powerful military in the entire world. We need a totally new approach to China. We are going to have real hard power in the Indo-Pacific, like Reagan, to deter their ambitions. We're going to have economic independence from China, where we're decoupling our
I
economy.
don't know what
We
this.
are going to go after the cultural power.
If
they have in this country.
sloganeering
As
was a
Governor Florida,
person,
I banned the CCP from buying land in our state. We should do that all across these United States. We shouldn't have them in our universities. We shouldn't have Confucius institutes. So when you see a country in decline, our power's in decline, China's going to surpass us this decade. And if they do that, that's going to affect every single American household. As your president, I am not going to let that happen. I'm going to reverse this country's decline. We are going to choose strength, not surrender when it comes to the CCP.
how many slogans are they gonna say today? I mean, literally.
We are a country in retreat.
So for all undocumented immigrants and their children, even if the children are citizens of the United States, under what legal premise will you expel U.S. citizens?
U.S.
So the
citizens.
first thing I want to say is I agree with everything the Republicans on the stage are on the right side of this issue. Militarize the southern border, stop funding sanctuary cities, and end foreign aid to Mexico and Central America
Look how
to end the incentives to come across.
kind of skirts.
But I do go a step further. You're right about that. I favor ending birthright citizenship for the kids of illegal immigrants in this country. Now, the left will howl about the Constitution and the 14th Amendment. The difference between me and them is I've actually read the 14th Amendment. What it says is that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the laws and jurisdiction thereof are citizens. So nobody believes that the kid of a Mexican diplomat in this country enjoys birthright citizenship. Not a judge or legal scholar in this country will disagree with me on that. Well, if the kid of a Mexican diplomat doesn't enjoy birthright citizenship, then neither does the kid of an illegal migrant who broke the law to come here. And as the father of 2 sons, it is hard for me to look them
He
in
has
the eye
children.
and
I
say
feel
you
sorry
have to
for him.
follow the law. When our government fails to
But your
follow
father
its
is not a
laws,
citizen, so
that's
you're
how
gonna
we
deport
really
him?
go the distance
I'm just
and
saying.
solve this problem and restore the rule of law in the United States of America, because that is part of what it even means to be an American.
Senator Scott, you oppose ending birthright citizenship. What does Mr. Ramaswamy have wrong on that issue?
Yeah, there's no doubt the fact that when you think of the Constitution and the 14th Amendment, it was certainly written as it relates to slavery, not as it relates to illegal immigration. It's going to apply to illegal immigration. So the challenge that we face is, in fact, one that has to do with whether or not the people that come here are under the jurisdiction of our laws. And frankly, if you come here illegally, you are not. Now, so surviving a Supreme Court argument is something I can't tell you. But from a perspective of the Constitution, I think it's simple that clearly it was designed for slavery.
He said slavery twice. Are they gonna meet his mic?
When we have a conversation about the things that are happening on the stage, about the fact that Vivek just said we were all good people, and I appreciate that, because last debate he said we were all bought and paid for. Now I thought about that for a little while and said, you know, I can't imagine how you can say that knowing that you were just in business with the Chinese Communist Party and the same
Uh-oh,
people that
here come the shots.
Hunter Biden
Shots fired.
was a partner of yours as well. It's not nonsense.
Tim Scott on the attack.
Who are tainted by a broken system. It's not the fault of anybody who's Excuse me. Thank you for speaking while I'm interrupting.
You said my thankful.
Uh-oh, here they come. They swinging now.
Everybody knows that. It's not holding Joe Biden accountable. I actually agree with Ron DeSantis.
Speak at the same time, no one can understand.
Exactly. So if I may, I agree with Ron DeSantis on China. When every other CEO expanded the Chinese market, you know what I did with my first company? We opened a subsidiary in China. But you know what I did that was different than every other company? We got the hell out of there. And when I started my next company, Strive, right when it years ago, right when I started my next company, Strive, to compete against BlackRock. Excuse me, to compete against BlackRock.
Wait a minute. Y'all notice they coming out swinging now.
And I will say something.
You have more than time to
Well, if I'm interrupted by a lot of people, I want to be respectful. I believe these are respectful, but I do not believe in these. We're sitting here in the Reagan Library.
Yes, I wish you
in the honor of Ronald Reagan's library. If I may, from one admirer of Ronald Reagan to another, from one admirer of Reagan to another, we cannot see violence.
Wait a minute. Somebody that told Tim Scott to grow a backbone? What? Oh, boy, it's about to get funny up in here. Up in here. Up in here.
Thank you very much. Vice President Pence, in 2017, the Trump Pence administration canceled DACA, which put the legal status of 600,000 dreamers in the hands of the courts. Dreamers work and they pay taxes. As president, if the Supreme Court ends DACA, would you work with Congress to reach a permanent solution for dreamers?
Well, first, let me say I'm glad Vivek pulled out of his business deal in 2018 in China. That must have been about the time you decided to start voting in presidential elections. So, let me speak to this. It's number one. I negotiated the Remain in Mexico policy with the Mexican government. We used economic power to bring the Mexican government to the table. We built hundreds of.
Don't be sorry, Parkers. That's her policy.
Here today, we reduced illegal immigration and asylum abuse by 90%. And as president of the United States, I can do it again. And the truth is, we need to fix a broken immigration system, and I'll do that as well. But first and foremost, a nation without borders is not a nation, and we have to secure the southern border.
What about the northern border? Just let our Canadians in, because what they'll do, they'll fly to Canada.
Let me say one other thing about China.
Yeah, answer the question.
A solution to the problem that dreamers have right now. They are on a link.
Let me tell you, I served in Congress for 12 years, although it seemed longer than everybody on this stage. Is I've actually secured reform in Congress. You know, Ron, you talk a really good game about cutting spending, but you've increased spending in Florida by 30%. When I was a member of Congress in 2006, right after Hurricane Katrina, Dana, you remember it, we stood our ground. I led House Conservatives. We cut $100 billion out of the federal budget. It can be done, but as I said in the last debate, I'll say again, this is no time for on-the-job training. I'm going to be ready on day one to get Congress.
You gonna be running because you're not gonna get the nomination. What if Trump picks him again as vice president? That thought just came to my mind.
How will these candidates make America safer as rising crime plagues our cities? Debate night continues in moments.
Okay, so they're in a commercial. Y'all. Okay, thoughts, anybody out there got thoughts? We done lost 3 people. See, me talking over it. But I had to, because some of this is just, I can't even believe they're sitting here saying this. Oh my gosh, are these people serious? This is way, Who told Tim Scott to grow a spine? Mike Pence has the charisma of mayonnaise. I can't. I wish I had to. I wish there was another person on the podcast, on this broadcast with me, so I could, like, we could go back and forth and back and forth. Because I can't believe when I'm sitting here watching these people's is out of their crazy mind. What? They are. Is it just me, or are they not saying anything? All I hear is a bunch of slogans, and just no, I don't hear anything. And maybe it's just me, but please, somebody out there type us up, because I don't even know what to say. Trump isn't going to pick him because the only reason he picked him in the first place is that he has deep ties to Congress, and Trump owns the congressional Republicans already. That's a good point. But I still think it's either going to be Tim Scott or MTG. It's one of those two. I can't, y'all, what is they talking about? Not gonna lie, some of them have some good, decent attack lines against each other, but they aren't saying anything. I'm like, oh my gosh. Some people want to criticize like third party candidates for not saying anything. These people ain't saying nothing, and they're gonna talk about crime, which is down overall. But watch, they mention Chicago, New York, and I'm trying to think of another large city, Los Angeles. I know Chicago's gonna get mentioned. Watch Chicago get mentioned. I think they're coming back. Oh boy, that commercial break. Pence is a robot, but he knows how to dish it out occasionally. He talks like this, and he goes like this, and then he does not know, and then I'm like, oh, somebody throw this man a personality, please. Throw him a personality. I think they're gonna come back, y'all. I can't. I done drink all my liquids. I haven't even gotten up to get more because I got some here. So I done forgot the sip policies. Trump is gonna have to pick a woman, either Nikki Haley or Nancy Mace from South Carolina, or Representative MTG. That's what we'll call her tonight because we don't want to call her name. Right now they're still on commercials. They're taking a lot of commercials. I'm just waiting for them to come back. DeSantis is terrible at the back and forth in the midst of an argument. He can only do pre-prepared remarks. Okay, so now they are back, everybody. Now they're about to lie about crime.
And welcome back to the Reagan Library for the second Republican presidential debate. I do want to just remind everyone, there's 1 minute for questions, 30 seconds for a follow-up, and the more you mention each other, that means if you have questions. Okay, so we want to talk about crime. This has been a horrendous problem in our country. The Fox News and others have been covering it. Governor Christie, crime in major cities is striking fear into the hearts of Americans. Just last night, looters took over the streets of Philadelphia. You said in the last debate that you would use U.S. attorneys to prosecute crimes local prosecutors won't, but they are stretched as well, and they could not handle all of the lawlessness, the shoplifting, all the carjackings, the armed robberies. They're all surging. Progressive prosecutors were elected by their constituents, and they can't be fired by a president. So what would you do to end the revolving door of criminality?
Well, look, Dana, I'm the only one on this stage who's done it. For 7 years, I ran the 5th largest office in this country, at the U.S. Attorney's Office in New Jersey, and we set records for the number of prosecutions that we brought that still have not
Yes,
been
Parker, we're going to talk about crime.
that we went after the crime that was affecting people's lives. And as president, I will appoint an attorney general and instruct that attorney general that you are to put all the resources that are necessary to bring our cities back under control. The fact is, they will be stretched. There's no doubt about that, but that's what they take the job for, because they love the idea of enforcing the law. We've got to bring law and order back to this country, and not just in our cities, but we need the law and order back everywhere. We need law and order back in our suburbs. People are threatened there. We need it in our rural areas. People feel threatened there. And we need it in Washington, D.C. also. And Donald Trump should be here to answer for that, but he's not. And I want to look at that camera right now and tell you, Donald, I know you're watching. You can't help yourself. I know you're watching, okay? And you're not here tonight, not because of polls and not because of your indictments. You're not here tonight because you're afraid of being on the stage and defending your record. You're ducking these things. And let me tell you what's going to happen. You keep doing that, no one up here is going to call you Donald Trump anymore. We're going to call you Donald Duck.
All right.
Oh, Donald Duck.
Prosecutors in your state, but as governor, you would not have the ability to do that. How do you think about dealing with the root causes of crime, especially this revolving door of the criminals that just get out and come back and commit another crime?
Well, the crime in these cities is one of the strongest signs of the decaying of America. We can't be successful as a country if people aren't even safe to live in places like Los Angeles and San Francisco. Just being in Southern California over the last couple of days,
yep,
my
terrible.
wife and I have met 3 people who have been mugged on the street, and that would have never happened 10 or 20 years ago. In Florida,
why is Ron DeSantis allowed to talk?
The men and women of law
I'm gotta ask, because I'm talking of him because he just annoys me.
Progressive prosecutors that are following the law in Florida, I removed them from their posts, and the people of Florida are safer as a result of it.
But you can't do that as president.
Use the Justice Department to bring civil rights cases against all of those left-wing Soros-funded prosecutors. We're not going to let them get away with it anymore. We want to reverse this country's decline. We need to choose law and order over rioting and disorder.
Oh my gosh.
There's a nationwide policing shortage. Retirements are up. Movement is in the tank. Morale is at a record low. 3 years ago, you signed a pledge to support law enforcement. Now, pledges are a nice idea, but what's your actual plan to get more police on our streets?
Well, and I actually did it in South Carolina too. You know, what we knew in South Carolina was you take care of those who take care of you. We have to start taking care of law
but no
enforcement. It's
unions.
not just taking care of them with words. It's making sure that you also follow through on what they do. Right
Tell
now,
me
we have
that.
a lot of stolen guns on the street. Well, these law enforcement officers, they arrest these people, and then they go and they're let out the very next day. So law enforcement feels like no one has their back. We have to start prosecuting according to the law. We have to make sure we have the backs of law enforcement, and we have to make sure that we're a country of law and order. But I want to go back to China because I don't think we spent enough time on that. Right now,
what does China have to do with crime?
To hurt us against China too. You have a company, U.S. Antibiotics, that produces amoxicillin, the #1 antibiotic that we need. And right now, there is a company in Bristol, Tennessee, that produces that. Yet our federal government only gets it from China. We need to be focusing on companies that produce in America and supporting those companies that produce in America, not companies that are helping China.
Girl, did they say anything about China?
Stuart, we're going to say that a crime because it affects all of us. Governor Burgum, for the first time ever, a Univision poll found that mass shootings and gun safety are one of the most important issues for Latino voters. Mental health concerns.
Why does he look like that? Look at the look on that guy's face, y'all.
Violence is. What is your specific plan to curb gun violence?
Well, first we need to know is understand is I think that the liberal left seems to be just completely bent on prosecuting law-abiding citizens that are gun owners because every solution.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
The Second Amendment rights of Americans and somehow
you don't even understand the Second Amendment.
Show the videos of tonight. They have some of the strictest gun laws in the country. So we know that that's not what's working. What we have to do is get back to the core issues about the family. We have to get back to behavioral health and mental health. We've got to get back to actually enforcing the laws these people talked about. And like we've done in North Dakota, where we've got the goal and we're on the track to be
Thank you, Parker.
Friendly state in the nation. We've got the most military and the most support of what we're doing in terms of law enforcement because the morale is down because we've been defunding the police because they've been attacked in the press.
Where have we defunded the police? Y'all help me. Help me.
If people don't respect them, every time I see police.
Y'all got to send people to me.
And so does everybody else in my family and most of the people in our state, because they know we have to respect the people that are out there defending us every single day.
Oh my gosh.
About 90% of fentanyl is seized at official border crossings, and 57% of the smugglers are U.S. citizens. How
Yes,
much of
U.S.
fentanyl
sentences.
brought into the country, mostly by U.S. citizens, ports of entry?
There's two sides to this, and we have to be very honest about it. One is we do have to seal that southern border. Building the wall is not enough. They're building cartel-financed tunnels underneath that wall. Semi-trucks can drive through them. We have to use our own military to seal the Swiss cheese of a southern border. But we also have to be honest. There's a demand-side problem in this country, too. A mental health epidemic.
Oh, they say mental health, but boy, they sure know how to cut mental health, don't they?
Their son Sebastian, 17 years old. He bought Percocet on Snapchat, and then he died. Why did he die? Because it was laced with fentanyl. That is closer to bioterrorism, not a drug overdose. That is poisoning. So it is our job to make sure that never happens. But it's also our job to make sure that 17-year-olds don't turn to Percocet via Snapchat. We have to bring back mental health care in this country, not with pump and pharmaceuticals, but with faith-based approaches that restore purpose.
Oh
and
my
meaning
gosh.
in the next generation of Americans. Many of them are getting it through social media. This isn't a Republican.
Oh, Parker, you caught that too? You caught the semi-truck thing?
You should not be using an addictive social media product, period. This is something that we can both agree on, and we can revive both the mental health of this country while stopping the fentanyl epidemic that will kill more people this year than who died on 9/11. And I refuse to be a passive bystander sitting in the White House like the hollowed out husk of a current president we have. We will step up and address this problem to stand for Americans and our children.
Somebody stop this. These people is idiots.
That is why, as Commander-in-Chief, I'm going to use the U.S. military to go after the Mexican drug cartels. They are killing our people.
She just literally said that 57% of fentanyl is trafficked by Americans.
The people that are rented before were using drugs. The infant was crawling, toddler was crawling on the carpet and ingested fentanyl residue and died. Are we just going to sit here and let this happen, this carnage happen in our country? I am not going to do that. So I guarantee you on day one, this border is
what's
going
wrong
to
with
be a
these
day one
people?
issue for me as president.
Yeah.
Declare it a national emergency.
10:30 or 10:50 is gonna be it for me because these nitwits is getting on my nerves.
Just last month, Vice President Pence, you said if elected, you would repeal all Obamacare mandates. However, you also made that same promise in 2016.
And you didn't keep it then, and you're not gonna keep it in.
Pence had congressional majorities for at least the first 2 years, and you did not deliver on that promise. So Obamacare, right now, it is more popular than ever. Why should Americans trust you if you become president to fix that, or is Obamacare here to stay?
It's not here to stay. Medicare for all. Medicare for all.
That's important. I'm someone that believes that justice delayed is justice denied.
Oh, now he quoting Dr. King on the street.
As a grandfather of three, I am sick and tired of these mass shootings happening in the United States of America. And if I'm president of the United States, I'm going to go to the Congress of the United States, and we're going to pass a federal.
And you're going to put everybody to sleep.
For anyone involved in a mass shooting, so that they do meet their fate in months, not years. It is unconscionable. Then the Parkland shooter, Ron, is actually going to spend the rest of his life behind
Parker.
bars in Florida.
Parker for the
That's
win.
not justice. We have to mete out justice and send a message to these would-be killers. You are not going to live out your days behind bars. You're going to meet justice in this system.
But does that mean Obamacare is here to stay?
Yes. Thank you. Answer the question.
Thank you for reiterating the question, because I'd love to answer it. Look, I think it's one of the choices here. You know, my former running mate, Donald Trump, actually has a plan to start to consolidate more power in Washington, D.C., consolidate more power in the executive branch. If I'm president of the United States, it's my intention to make the federal government smaller by returning to the states those resources and programs that are rightfully theirs.
That means Medicare, Social Security is gone. It's bye.
All housing funding, all HHS funding, all of it goes back to the states. We'll shut down the federal Department of Education. We'll allow states to innovate. We're going to.
What does the Department of Education got to do with y'all? Y'all.
May I remind everyone to keep it in that time frame so that Governor DeSantis, over 6 million Americans don't have insurance coverage. Governor DeSantis, 2.5 million of them are in your state.
Tell them in your state.
Can Americans trust you on this?
I think this is a symptom of our overall economic decline. Everything has gotten more expensive. You see insurance rates are going through the roof. People that are going to get groceries. I spoke with a woman in Iowa, and she said, for the first time in my life, I'm having to take things out of my grocery cart when I get to the checkout line because the total goes up so quickly. So this is very real, and people are hurting out there. So we've got to address the underlying
my gosh.
Bidenomics, the overspending.
How in the world should why is Joe Biden losing to all these people? Why? Just anybody. Why? How?
And what we need to do with healthcare is recognize our healthcare is putting patients at the back of the bus. We have big pharma, big insurance, and big government, and we need to tackle that and have more power for the people and the doctor-patient relationship.
Medicare for all.
Record in Florida on insurance worse than the national average.
Our state's a dynamic state. We've got a lot of folks that come. Of course, we've got a population boom. We also don't have a lot of welfare benefits in Florida. We're basically saying this is a field of dreams. You can do well in the state, but we're not going to be like California and have massive numbers of people on government programs without work requirements. We believe you work and you got to do that. And so that goes for all the welfare benefits. And you know what that's done, Stuart? Our unemployment rate is the lowest amongst any big state. We have the highest GDP growth.
Could somebody shut these people up?
No fan of mine ranked Florida the #1 economy in America.
Oh, his smile is creepy.
American families accounting for 2/3 of all personal bankruptcies. As president, how you protect Americans who get sick from financial ruin?
You
First
won't.
of all, how can we be the best country in the world and have the most expensive health care in the world? We have an issue. My mom was in the hospital, and when she was in the hospital, they tried to bring her a couple of Tylenol. And she said, I don't need it. And they said, honey, go ahead and take it because you're paying for it anyway. Why is it that when we got the bill, the insurance company in the hospital negotiated the bill for her without her having anything to do with it? When I am president, we will break all of it, from the insurance company to the hospitals, to the doctor's offices, to the PBMs, to the pharmaceutical companies. We will make it all transparent, because when you do that,
That'll lower the cost.
that's what the problem is.
That'll lower it.
Tort law. The doctors don't give you the
I
10
don't
because
know
they want
why
to.
we
It's because of
torture
the
ourselves
90%
watching it.
chance they'll get
I
sued.
don't either,
And then we
Parker.
need to bring
If the
competition
Democrats
back
were
into
having a
healthcare.
debate,
Get
I would
rid of
watch it too.
certificate of need
But when the
systems and make
libertarians
sure
have
that they
theirs,
can
I'm going to be
compete.
watching it.
We have to put the patient in the driver's seat. They've been in the back seat for way too long. And once we give the patient the ability to decide their health care, deciding which plan they want, that is when we will see magic happen. We're going to have to make every part of the industry open up and show us where their warts are, because they all have them, and we need to fix this on behalf of the American people.
In 30 seconds, do you have a better way in 30 seconds?
Yes, we're not talking about the real problem ever. We talk about why do we have the most expensive healthcare in the world? It's because the federal government got involved the same way they did with EVs, and they said, we're going to subsidize a particular kind of software back in 2008 under Obama, and they said, hey, we're going to do this. It's going to make everyone more productive. All of you that are watching have been to a doctor's office when the doctor's got his back to you and their hands on a keyboard. The only industry in the world that's ever absorbed $1 trillion
Oh
of IT
my
and became less
goodness.
productive. They saw less patients per day.
The economics are the percentage of families that have turned
wasn't about
growing
improving
gardens
healthcare. It was
for
about picking
these
winners and losers.
supplements have gone
Every
up.
time the federal government's involved, whether it's higher education, healthcare, or now the auto industry, things get more expensive and less competitive.
That was a great transition because we are going to move on the future of
Oh,
education in America.
oh
Once the
no,
government's
woke
moving
ideology.
forward, the second
Woke.
Republican rolls on from seat.
Okay, y'all. Here come all the woke ideology. We gonna stop this where woke goes to die. It's coming. Y'all. Y'all. I don't have they said anything? That's when the magic happens. Put the money to the states. The states are, oh my gosh. I'm going to absolutely kind of, I'm gonna have to tell them I don't care what's gonna happen. I don't know. Making it transparent lowers the cost. Really, that's not gonna, you'll know about the cost, but how does it? She's being paid by the insurance lobby. Can we just say that? Yeah, yeah. 10:50. Let's see, we got about 45 minutes left of this mess. I'm hoping this ends early. Oh boy. Not nearly as entertaining as the first one, but who they sit here, they just I'm pretty sure that one particular computer tech funding thing that was passed in 2008 isn't the sole reason why healthcare is bad, like Doug Burcham was. Crime is out of control, but crime has been lower than it has been in 25. I'm 25 years. I'm surprised they didn't mention Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, and talk about the outrageous. Oh my gosh. That's why I turned the sound down. Yeah. Yeah, my head is hurting again. My head is hurting again. I done forgot all about the drinking rules because these idiots that made me so mad. I can't. And Ron DeSantis, stop smiling. It looks creepy. Your smile looks creepy. Creepy. I'm, whoo. Everybody, let's just take a breath in. See how that let off all that stress and just let it all out. Let it, let's just let it all out. Now I'm gonna disagree with that, right? This is the party that Reagan wanted. He's the one that started it. Oh my gosh. Everybody just take a deep breath. Let's just take some deep breaths. Because this mess is coming back. Like I said, once I find out what a libertarian debate is, we're gonna be doing this again. Um, okay, I'm just waiting here. Okay, I'm still watching these commercials. There have been like 5 minutes of actual entertainment parts, and once was when Tim Scott was getting into a beef with Vivek. Yeah, it's like it's not as entertaining as the last one. This is just more idiotic Republican talking points that make literally no sense. I'm surprised though they did go after Trump, and I'm surprised DeSantis went after Trump. His poll numbers must be really low because he went right after Trump. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay. I think it's coming back. Wow, they got a lot of commercials. Yes, it is because them libertarians are entertaining. Oh, they back. They are back.
And for the second Republican debate, and let's get back to our questions, Governor Haley. American students, they are in academic trouble. They have lower scores in math and reading. There's chronic absenteeism, that's at record highs. And this has even been called education homicide. You say school choice is the answer.
Who said
but
that?
South Carolina, your home state, still has not enacted universal school choice, and even the current expansion won't be fully implemented until 2027. Parents can't wait 4 years for a fix. So what would you do right now?
Well, and school choice isn't the only answer, but I'll tell you, it's not out of a lack of trying that we didn't try and get school choice in South Carolina. What I'll tell you, first of all, is we have to acknowledge the fact that 67% of our eighth graders are not proficient in reading or math. Over 80% of our eighth graders aren't proficient in history or civics. And recently they came out and said our 12 and 13-year-olds are scoring at the lowest levels they've been scoring in reading and math in decades. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to make sure we catch our kids back up. We have to make sure they can read. A child that can't read by third grade is 4 times less likely to graduate high school. We need to do reading remediation. We need complete transparency in the classroom. No parent should ever wonder what's being said or taught to their child in the
Have
classroom.
cameras in
We need
there.
to make sure that we have school choice so that there's competition. We need to move all the programs from the federal government down to the states and let states decide what education looks like in their states. And we need to start building things in America again. Let's put vocational
They're
classes back in our
asking.
high schools, and let's get our kids building the things that we know that we
Wow.
can make. When we start to focus on that and really bring in that parental involvement, that's when we'll start to see a difference. But we've got to get parents back included. We've got to quit spending time on this DEI and CRT and instead focus on
CRT.
financial literacy, on
Here we
digital
go.
literacy, and on making sure that our kids know what they need to have the jobs.
CRT is only taught in college level.
Students in your state getting high marks on their report cards. But minorities are not doing well with math and reading. Black and Hispanic students averaging 29 points lower than white students in New Jersey.
Now he's gonna say black people dumb. What you trying to say?
You have to address all students. And look, in our state, Stuart, frankly, before I was governor, that gap was close to 50%. And what we did was institute more charter schools and more Renaissance schools and more public school choice in New Jersey with innovative solutions in
The
cities like
local
Camden,
community
where
college is
now
going
we
to
took
have
what
to
was the
shut
worst school
down for the
districts in
government
America
shut down.
during my time. And we have now increased that by nearly 40% in terms of their proficiency. It can be done when you give people choice. But let's tell the truth to everybody about what this is. This public school system is no longer run by the public. It is run by the teachers' unions in this country.
Oh, now he gets a
Randy
teachers
Weinberg
union.
and her crew are absolutely struggling. They're taking the worst of their members and defending them rather than advocating for our kids.
Oh, wait a minute.
Sleeping with a member of the teachers union, there is no chance that you can take the stranglehold away from the teachers union.
Pretty sure Trump did not do well in school. He bragged a few years ago about passing the doctor test that was testing him for dementia.
To be the best they
Thank
can be. A president of the United States is to take on the teachers union. I did it in New Jersey, and I will do it as president of the United States.
Yeah, but what will happen when our teachers go astray?
Florida's new Black History says, quote, slaves develop skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit.
Uh-oh. We're going to shut up for this answer.
Slaves develop skills in spite of slavery, not because of it. But many are still hurt. For descendants of slaves, this is personal. What is your message to them?
So first of all, that's a hoax that was perpetrated by Kamala Harris. We are not going to be doing that. Second of all, that was written by descendants of slaves. These are great Black history scholars. So we need to stop playing these games. Here's the deal. Our country's education system is in decline because it's focused on indoctrination, denying parents' rights. Florida represents the revival of American education. We're ranked #1 in the nation in education by U.S. News and World Report. My wife and I, we have a 6, 5, and 3-year-old. This is personal to us. We didn't just talk about universal school choice. We enacted universal school choice. We didn't just talk about Parents' Bill of Rights. We enacted the Parents' Bill of Rights. We eliminated critical race
Yep,
theory.
race ourselves.
American civics in the
Critical
Constitution
race
in our
theory
schools
is
in a
not
really big
taught
way,
in
just like
high
President
school,
Reagan asked
middle
for
school.
in his farewell address back in 1989. Florida is showing how it's done. We're standing with parents.
And nobody wants you. That's why your numbers are tanking. Shut up.
There is not a redeeming quality in slavery. He and Kamala should have just taken the one sentence out. America has suffered because of slavery, but we've overcome that.
We've overcome that?
on earth because we faced
Y'all.
our demons in the mirror and made a decision. So often we think that all the issues, you talk about crime and education and healthcare, we always think that those issues go back to slavery.
They
Here's
do.
the challenge though. Black families survived slavery. We survived poll taxes and
We don't
literacy
survive
tests.
police
We
shootings.
survived discrimination being woven into the laws of our country. It was hard to survive. Was Johnson's great
He
society
know people know.
when he decided to put money to take the black father out of the household, get a check in the mail, and you can now measure that in unemployment, in crime, in devastation. You gotta restore hope. You gotta restore the family, restore capitalism, and put Americans back at work together as one American family. Our nation continues to go in the right direction. It's why I can say I have been discriminated against, but America is not a racist country. Never, ever doubt who we are. We are the greatest country on God's green earth. And frankly, the city on the hill needs a brand new leader. And I'm asking for your vote.
I'm going to have a question for you, Mr. Ramaswamy. Over 10.7 million students in over 18,000 public schools nationwide have the ability to change their identity without parental notification.
They sure do.
Governor Christie told Stewart last week that he would pass a federal law to protect parental rights. Would you try to do the same?
I have to be very clear about this. Transgenderism, especially in kids, is a mental health disorder. We have to acknowledge the truth of that for what it is. I met 2 young women early in this campaign.
Specifically on parental rights in school.
Parents have the right to know. And you know what the hypocrisy of this is? Even New Hampshire failed to actually get past a piece of legislation here. The very people who say that this increases the risk of suicide are also the ones saying that parents don't have the right to know about that increased risk of suicide. And I'm sorry, it is not compassionate to affirm a kid's confusion. That is not compassion, that is cruelty.
Parker, I done ran out of liquid. I'm literally out of liquid.
Now regret getting double mastectomies and a hysterectomy. One of them will never have children. And the fact that we allowed that to happen in this country is barbaric. So I will ban genital mutilation or chemical castration under the age of 18. Parents have absolutely
Would you try
the
to
right.
pass a federal law that says parents should have that right?
We are going to require states absolutely have to
Then
follow that
I'm
through.
going to Governor Burgum just to
stand
follow
for
up on
parental
this
rights,
because
yes.
Oh my gosh.
you do not have a law that says parents can't be notified. You want to be president. Would you try to pass
Yeah,
a federal
because
law to say parents
transgenderism
have that
is
right?
running
I mean,
rampant.
this is a state's issue, but I do want to say something. All night long, we've been talking about issues about how it's broken in Washington, and I respect all of the people on the stage here for their 100+ years of public service. Thank you. But the reason why we're not talking about education or healthcare or safety being a problem in North Dakota is because we have a business leader. I've got more experience as a business leader than I think this whole group combined. I know I've created more jobs than everybody else on stage, thousands of high-paying jobs that have real meaning. So as a business leader, you come in and you
Oh,
take
he
the
done paid
tax
2 people to
customer.
clap.
So in North Dakota, instead of fighting with the teachers unions, we actually created a K-12 meeting council. Everybody gets in the room and the customer is
But
the
you do
student.
understand that this is an issue that many people in America
Transgenderism ain't on the rampage.
parents
It's
and
they crazy.
notification in schools.
Yes, and that's why we have platforms of Innovation. That's why United States, there are certain things the federal government is supposed to do. It's not the Department of Education that needs to be assembled. We got to move it back to states. Do what we did in North Dakota. Instead of like, oh, here's a choice school and here's an old school, the old way with the teachers union, the kids are trapped. We made every school in North Dakota an innovation school. Every school got out from under the red tape, and the things that help.
No, Parker, shut up, all of them. All of them, shut up.
Right now.
Who is them 3 people he paying to clap?
Homeland Security warns that violence against LGBTQ people is on the rise and intensifying. According to a recent study, members of that community are 9 times more likely to be victims of violent hate crimes.
Y'all get brace
As
yourself.
president, how would you protect this community from violent attacks and discrimination?
Well, as President of the United States, I'll stand up for the safety and the civil liberties of every American from every background. And I want the American people to know that. But I want to answer the question as well, Dana, that you just asked of Burr. Because by way of full disclosure, Chris, you mentioned the president's situation. My wife isn't a member of the teachers union, but I got to admit, I've been sleeping with a teacher for 38 years. Look, education is a state and local function. The state of Indiana had one of the very first school choice programs in the country. And when I was governor of the state of Indiana, we doubled. And as to your question, Dana, let's be very, very clear. When the Linn-Mar Community Schools in Iowa had a policy where you could.
Thank you. North Dakota has like what, 10 people? He one of them.
But you could get a gender transition plan without notifying your parents. I weighed in with the foundation. That's not bad policy. That's crazy. We're going to stand up for the rights of parents, and we're going to pass a federal ban on transgender chemical or surgical surgery anywhere in the country. We've got to protect our kids.
But what if you're an adult and you want the surgery?
And we've got to empower parents at the state level.
Can we shut these people up?
Whether kids go to school, whether it's public, private, parochial, or homeschool, you empower parents, and our schools will straighten up and reflect our values and focus on the basics faster than you could possibly imagine.
Next subject.
Oh my.
China is investing. If you talk over everybody, please lose time. China is investing heavily in their tech companies. $280 billion.
Yeah, Parker, that's what he said. But he's going to protect the rights of all Americans.
Act per year. Governor DeSantis, you say companies like Google and Meta have too much power. Doesn't going after them give China an edge?
Yes.
No, I think you look at how our societies develop, they have huge amount of power over our society. They've cracked down on free speech. We're not saying you don't want them to do business, but you want it to be a free market. And right now they're monopolies. But this issue of China, I think, is really going to be fundamental. We have subcontracted out so much of our national needs to the CCP. We rely on them for a whole host of issues.
Sorry, my light went out.
We need to decouple all those important industries.
Oh my God. I promise y'all the libertarian one is going to be way better than this mess.
Xi Jinping's got huge ambitions, not only in the Asia Pacific, but as you mentioned earlier, in our region. But ultimately, we've got to beat him on the economy. And so that's what we'll do as president of the United States.
Governor Christie, I wanted to follow up on this because 22% of American workers fear their jobs will be lost to a robot. And you said in the past that the free market is the way to go. Would you retrain workers who lose a job to artificial intelligence, and to do what?
Well, look, what I think artificial intelligence offers us is an extraordinary opportunity to expand well beyond the productivity that we have now, and to have Americans be able to be involved in that revolution, Dana. You know, each time we have shown incredible innovation and progress in this country. What we've done with it is to expand
are serious.
thought of opportunities for folks. Yes, we have to do retraining for folks who lose some of their jobs, and we should be doing that. And we should have more training available both at the county college level and the local level for people to be able to access it. So yes, I would be in favor of that. But this is a much bigger issue than that. We can't be afraid of innovation. America has been the great innovator of this world. over the last 250 years, a technological innovator, a manufacturing innovator, and a freedom and governmental innovator. And that's why America has to continue to stand strong in the world, pro-innovation.
Y'all, these people is serious.
And I'll tell you this, as President of the United States, what I will do is to make sure that every innovator in this country gets the government the hell off its back and out of its pocket so that it can innovate and bring great new inventions to our country that will make everybody's lives better.
What did he just say?
TikTok is banned government-issued devices because of its ties to the Chinese government. Yet you joined TikTok after dinner with boxer and influencer Jake Paul. Should the commander-in-chief be so easily persuaded by an influencer?
So the answer is I have a radical idea for the Republican Party. We need to win elections. And part of how we win elections is reaching the next generation of young Americans where they are. So when I get into office, I've been very clear. Kids under the age of 16 should not be using addictive social media. We're only going to ever get to declaring independence from China, which I favor, if we actually win. So while the Democrats are running rampant, reaching the next generation,
He wants
3
to
1,
decouple the
there's
USA
exactly
from
one
China.
person in the
But
Republican
who
Party which
was
talks a
it
big
that
game about
started
reaching
in the
young
first
people,
place?
and that's me. And let me level with all of you. I'm the new guy here, and so I know I have to earn your trust. What do you see? You see a young man who's in a bit of a hurry, maybe a little ambitious, bit of a know-it-all, it seems at times. I'm here to tell you, no, I don't know it all. I will listen. I will have the best
Why
people, the best
is
and
Vivek
brightest
the
in this
snake
country,
still
whatever
talking?
age they are, advising me. You will be probably many of the people on this stage included. That's how I built my companies. I want to be challenged. I want people who disagree with me. That's what makes America great, because we're not a perfect nation. We're founded on the pursuit of perfection. That is what makes America great. And that is why we will end it once we win this election.
I have to jump. I have to jump in here. I'm sorry. There's one person on this.
This is infuriating because TikTok is one of the most dangerous social media apps that we could have. And what you've got, I honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say, because I can't believe
Wow.
that you've got a TikTok situation. What they're doing is 150 million people are on TikTok. That means they can get your contacts, they can get your financial information, they can get your emails, they can get your
So can Facebook, so can Google, so can Instagram.
exactly what
This is very important party, and I'm going to say it.
No, that's Vivek the snake is not from North Dakota. The one from North Dakota, he got the dark eyebrows and the gray hair.
With the Chinese that gave Hunter Biden $5 million, we can't trust you. We
So
can't trust you.
let me
We
say
can't have
something.
TikTok and
I think that
Facebook. We need to ban it.
Mr. Ramaswamy, you have 15 seconds.
No, TikTok is not the most dangerous app we have. Thank you.
15 seconds, Mr. Ramaswamy.
I think we would be better served as a Republican Party if we're not sitting here hurling personal insults and actually having a legitimate debate about policy, following Reagan's 11th Amendment in his honor. And the answer is that is what actually makes our country strong. And I believe in these people. These are good people on this
Oh my gosh, shut up. Shut up.
Stuart, can we get back to the question?
No, we cannot. Governor DeSantis, I'm going straight. Sir, we will have to cut your mic, and I don't want to do that. I don't. So, Governor DeSantis, let me go to you. Experts say President Putin has ordered assassinations across Europe, cheated on arms control treaties.
Why don't they cut the mic?
With China to force our decline. President Reagan believed that if you want to prevent a war, you better be prepared to fight one. Today, the Republican Party is at odds over aid to Ukraine. The price tag so far is $76 billion. But is it in our best interest to degrade Russia's military for less than 5% of what we pay annually on defense, especially when there are no U.S. soldiers in the fight?
Oh, there will be.
End this war, and that's what I will do as president. We are not going to have a blank check. We will not have U.S. troops. We're going to make the Europeans do what they need to do.
But
they've sent money to pay bureaucrats' pensions
Y'all,
and salaries
I
and
got
funding small businesses halfway around the world.
32
Meanwhile,
minutes of this
our
mess to
own
go.
country is being invaded. We don't even have control of our own territory. We have got to defend the American people before we even worry about all these other things. And I watch these guys in Washington, D.C., and they don't care. about the American people. They don't care about the fentanyl deaths. They don't care about the communities being overrun because of this border. They don't care about the Mexican drug cartels. So as Commander-in-Chief, I will defend this country's sovereignty.
But it's not a territorial dispute. It's never been a territorial dispute.
And 90% of the resources that we send over to Ukraine is guaranteed as a loan. It is not 90% of the money that we send over there is loan. Well, we can talk about this, but at the end of the day, 90% of the money that we send over there is actually in the form of loan. It's not actually not being paid by Ukraine, it's paid by the NATO, our NATO allies.
So I think it's a good topic.
I think it's a really good topic. I will say, let's debate the fact that our national vital interest is in degrading the Russian military. By degrading the Russian military,
So you send more money to Ukraine.
Keep our troops at home, and we all understand Article 5 of NATO.
We're level with the American people.
I thought you said something about waiting until your turn to talk. So, hold on a second. So at the end of the day, I'm going to finish my. I'll be happy to go on this. I'll look forward to this one. So at the end of the day, when you think
Tim Scott up here trying to show some pushback.
Troops at home attack on NATO territory, bring us and our troops in. By degrading the Russian military, we reduce, if not eliminate, an attack on NATO.
But you're gonna just keep giving money every time you.
We have to level with the American people on this issue. The reality is, just because Putin's an evil dictator does not mean that Ukraine is good. This is a country that has banned 11 opposition parties.
A win
That has
for
actually,
Russia is a
that
win
is not
for
true.
China.
We're
A
driving
win
Russia.
Oh, Nikki, I've never met a war I didn't like Haley.
You like it, that's why
You'll have your chance in just a moment. The world doesn't help. China is the real enemy, and we're driving Russia further into China's arms. We need a reasonable peace plan to end this, especially if this is a country whose president just last week was hailing
Let's have Ukraine that's a green light to China to take Taiwan.
We need a
Peace comes through.
Oh boy, these warmongers are getting it now.
Christie, President Biden's first 2 years have brought China, Russia, and Iran closer together. Are we focused too much on Ukraine and not enough on this threat from the New World Order?
No, they're all connected, Stuart. They're all connected. The Chinese are paying for the Russian war in Ukraine. The Iranians are supplying more sophisticated weapons, and so are the North Koreans now as well, with the encouragement of the Chinese. The naivete on this stage from some of these folks is extraordinary. Look, I understand people want to go and talk to Putin. Guess what? So did George W. Bush. So did Barack Obama. So did Donald Trump. And so did Joe Biden when he said a small invasion wouldn't be so bad. Every one of them has been wrong. And the fact of the matter is, we need to say right now that the Chinese-Russian alliance is something we have to fight against, and we are not going to solve it by going over and cuddling up to Vladimir Putin. Look, Donald Trump said Vladimir Putin was brilliant and a great leader. This is the person who is murdering people in his own country, and now not having enough blood, he's now going to Ukraine to murder innocent civilians and kidnap 20,000 children. And let me tell you, if you think that's where it's going to stop, if we give him any of Ukraine, next will be Poland. This is a guy who said, this is a guy in 1991 who said that was the darkest moment in world history when the Soviet Union fell. Listen, everybody, he wants to put the old band back together, and only America can stop it. And when I'm president,
So let's just get into war with Russia. Yay! Woo, child, these warmongers are getting on my nerves.
Experience in it, and we need to talk about America's farmers because there is a foreign policy connection here. The U.S. and China are in this fierce economic competition. It's hurting American businesses, and there is blowback against American farmers because China then targets them in retaliation. How would you, as president, protect American farmers and ranchers from that kind of retaliation from a foreign government like China?
Well, first of all, we've got the best farmers and ranchers in the world right here in America. If they have a level playing field, they can outcompete anyone in the world. But this is part of the larger issue that we're talking about here, which is we're in a Cold War with China. The Biden administration won't admit that. But we're also in an economic war, through what we're doing with agriculture and energy, and we're also in a war with them relative to cyber war. We get attacked every day in North Dakota, every state, every school district, our tribes, all being attacked every day by either China, Russia, Iran, or North Korea. And now we've got a Biden administration whose whole policy is appeasement. They're out there, creating the world, making it less safe. $6 billion they traded for 5 people. They just now set a price on anyone's head who's a tourist from America, who's a student from America, for kidnapping. If you want more kidnapping, put a price on it. And then they're also helping Iran get to have more closer to nuclear weapon.
Christie framing Putin invading Ukraine as him wanting to get the band back together and recreate the Soviet Union.
And then Taiwan to China and think that's a foreign policy. That will make our nation less successful, make us more poor. And at the core of all that is energy policy, because China imports 10 million barrels of oil a day. They're the largest importer in the world, and we've had 4 cabinet members from the Biden administration there this summer, and none of them talked about U.S. energy. The first one to go to each of those countries was Kerry to talk about the folly of the climate policy, which is making the world less stable. It's empowering dictators. It's not about climate change that we need worried about. It's about the Biden climate policies that are actually the existential threat to America's future.
This is why you don't get to talk all the time.
Sending U.S. military into the country, quote, scoundrels. Mexico is the United States' most important trade partner and border security. You say you will send special operations to attack the cartels in Mexico. So, this means boots on the ground, drone strikes?
It means special operations. It's how we deal with our terrorists. And what you need to do is understand that Mexico's not being a good partner if we lost 75,000 Americans last year. Mexico's not being a good partner if they're letting the cartels get away with what they're getting away with. What we will do is we will make sure that we send in our special operations, and we will take out the cartels, we'll take out their operations, we'll take out anything that's doing it. But we're going to go after China, because China is the one sending the fentanyl.
The question is about...
And we will end all normal trade relations until China stops sending fentanyl. And then we'll do the special operations, and we'll get it from both sides. This is where President Trump went wrong. He focused on trade with China. He didn't focus on the fact that they were buying up our farmland. He didn't focus on the fact that they were killing Americans. He didn't focus on the fact that they were stealing $600 billion.
Child, these people is special, dude.
Focus on the fact that they put a spy base off our shores in Cuba. They didn't focus enough on the fact that all of our law enforcement drones in America are Chinese, and we've got all these little surveillance cells. We need to start focusing on what keeps Americans safe. That hasn't happened in a long time. As your president, I will make sure every American is safe, and we'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. All right.
Why are these?
I want to get to Senator Scott.
Cut all of their mics. Cut all their mics.
Auditioning for the job as president of the United States, you want to earn these votes. But the world's problems land in the Oval Office. During the presidential debates in the year 2000, neither Al Gore nor George W. Bush was asked about Al-Qaeda. Yet, just 1 year later, Al-Qaeda's attack on September 11th claimed nearly 3,000 lives. And the farther we get from September 11th, the closer we are to September 10th.
She sure is.
Senator Scott, you have no executive branch experience. What has prepared you to protect the nation from a major man-made national security crisis?
One of the things I've had the good fortune of doing.
She acts like Mexico wouldn't retaliate or anything or use their own army to defend themselves. Nope. They're going to just come in there and let America do what they want.
Finance Committee, the Banking Committee, talk about addressing the issue of fentanyl. I've written the legislation, passed it through the Banking Committee and the Senate, that would freeze the assets and sanction the accounts of the Mexican cartels. There are weapons that we have within the arsenal that I.
Why is they want war with Mexico? Mexico ain't did nothing to us.
I also understood without question the fact that if you look at the details before 9/11, there was information and intelligence that was available that suggested an attack was coming. Having the right intelligence partners with us is key to making sure that we prevent the next 9/11.
Why is he on the stage still running?
Experience of the last 10 years is really important in getting the job.
Is 30 seconds to you, Mr. Pence?
Parker, they don't think the climate change is real. It's fake. Remember?
And I stand before you today as candidate for president because I think this country's in a lot of trouble. And you hear the fire.
Somebody give Pence some personality. He
Since
literally
Joe
puts me
Biden
to
is
sleep.
weak in this country, at home and abroad, this is a time for those of us that have the experience, the tested experience, and a commitment to the conservative agenda that Ronald Reagan brought forward in this party of a strong national defense, standing with our allies, standing up to our enemies, supporting limited government and traditional values, need to step forward.
Cut their mics off.
Our party does face a time for choosing, as I said at the top of this debate, whether we're going to stand on the foundation of that conservative agenda that Ronald Reagan poured, or whether we're going to follow the siren song of populism unmoored to conservative principles. I'm the most experienced, most qualified, and most consistent conservative in this field, and I'm ready to lead America at home and abroad on day one.
Time for choosing to go to a break. Ilya.
A war with Mexico.
Nations that lasted decades in any of the candidates' city. Take that up. The debate continues.
A war with Mexico just makes any chance of democracy in Cuba impossible for even more generations. That's the whole goal. You know, we gotta attack Cuba. Oh my gosh, I may call this a not. Oh my gosh, I can't. These peoples is making me just. I don't know what's wrong with these people. I'm gonna go here and see something. I'm gonna see. Okay, I'm gonna. When is the libertarian presidential debate? Oh, wait a minute, that's not it. I'm trying to put this on my calendar now. I may not get back. When is the libertarian presidential debate? No, we want to know when the debate is. Debate. Okay, Parker. Yeah, I'm zonking out too, but I'm gonna try to stay on a couple more minutes. I'm trying to find the list of when the libertarian debate is, and I'm seeing May 24th through the 26th, 2024. I'm not seeing anything about November. Yeah, when we had the hottest days in the record world history a couple months ago, the scientists were all just making that up with fake thermostats and fake historical data. Yep, they sure were. All of it fake. Me neither, Parker. Me neither. I'm still trying to find this debate so I can at least set it up on my computer, and I'm not finding it because oh my gosh, these folks is getting on my nerves. I think I'm gonna if you just like 5 to 10 more minutes. No, I'm not even gonna try that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm still trying to get online and try to find out when this next libertarian debate is. The first one is. I don't see it. So I'm like I said, I'm seeing May 24th to the 26th. That's their convention, but I can't find when their debate is. So I just can't. Sorry, yes, I'm trying to. Let me look. Maybe I can find it on their website. See, they got their national convention, but I don't see anything about debates. So I'm gonna send out. Maybe I should send them an email. Ooh, ooh. Then they'll put me on their mailing list. Oh, okay, they're back.
Where gas is nearing $6 a gallon, oil is close to $100 a barrel again. You say, drill, baby, drill. But the courts won't let you. Mr. Ramaswamy, how would you bring down prices without immediate drilling?
Well, look, I think that we do have to run through the courts and get through that administrative state to make sure we're using the natural resources here at home. But here's the other thing that we can do that's easy.
Forever, Mr. Ramaswamy.
And it addresses the national debt as well as brings down prices. Put people back to work. We are using taxpayer money to pay people more to stay at home than to go to work. That is wrong. That contributes to our supply chain crisis. It contributes to inflation. That's the easiest way to unlock this economy. And here's the other thing. We have to put the Federal Reserve back in its place. This is an agency that has gone rogue. So in January 2026, when I have the opportunity as our next commander-in-chief, we will have a new chairman of the Federal Reserve who places priority on dollar stability, and then most importantly, send packing 75% of the administrative state. Reduce the federal employee headcount by
that would be
75%.
interesting, but I don't know if it'll happen.
We'll see. Unconstitutional federal regulations
I'm
that
gonna
are
go
shackling businesses, both large and small. I've offered a very clear, practical plan to do it.
Yeah.
That's how we unleash the economy. That's how we revive the integrity of a
I think I'm gonna cut this.
constitutional republic rather than this technocracy and aristocracy in the administrative state.
I think one of the signature accomplishments of our administration was in just a few short years.
He keeps taking credit for all this stuff. Does he realize that Donald Trump was president?
For the first time in 75 years. But on day one, Joe Biden declared a war on energy, which was no surprise because when Joe Biden ran for president, he said he was going to end fossil fuels. And they've been working overtime to do that ever since. If I'm president of the United States, we're going to open up federal lands. We're going to unleash American energy. We're going to have an all of the above energy strategy. And I have a plan that actually would not only reclaim energy independence, but in 2006, America lost our position as the leading energy producer on earth. I believe in the next 10 years with the right policies and experienced leadership in the White House, we can
he threw toilet paper at the people in Puerto Rico.
Producer on earth, and that will grow the American economy for generations to come.
Governor Haley, reaction to that, please.
No, Governor Haley.
So, the first thing I'll say is what I saw at
Oh
the
my
United Nations
gosh.
is energy security is national security. We need a president that understands we have to partner with our producers and make sure that we have their backs. What you don't need is a president who is against energy independence. Ron DeSantis is against fracking. He's against drilling. He's been against, you did it. He always talks about what happens on day one. You better watch out because what happens on day two is when you're in trouble. Day two in Florida, you banned fracking, you banned offshore drilling.
That's good.
You did it on federal lands. And you took green subsidies that you didn't have to take.
Governor DeSantis, you were mentioned. You have the right to respond. 30 seconds.
Yeah. I just did a plan out in West Texas for American energy dominance. We're going to choose Midland over Moscow. We're going to choose the Marcellus over the Mullahs, and we're going to choose Bakken over Beijing. We are going to lower your gas prices. We are going to get that job done because it's important for our national security. It's important for jobs, and that's one of the best.
These clowns is just, I can't.
Governor DeSantis, this question is for you.
Our voters enacted a constitutional
You banned it before they voted.
No, it's not true.
You banned it before they
Yeah,
voted.
just like you did.
They didn't vote on fracking.
How's she gonna come out for fracking? Fracking is terrible. Fracking is terrible, and you're coming out for this.
So that's just wrong, and let's just get real here. My plan will get the job done. We are going to be energy dominant, and that's what's going to happen.
The voters didn't even vote on fracking. You banned fracking.
Okay.
This question for Governor DeSantis. We cannot cover each other. We must respect each other's time. My apologies for that.
I'm ready, Stu.
Governor DeSantis, this is your question. The Biden administration is hell-bent on student loan forgiveness, but you say colleges should be on the hook when graduates cannot pay their debt. How does that address the cost of college? The cost of college itself?
Because the colleges are going to have to make a decision. Do we expand the gender studies department, knowing some of those graduates may not have great learning opportunities? No, they're going to focus on the things that really matter. They're going to make different choices. They're going to try to
Okay, so before you get off the stream, you got to give who you think the winner will be. Like in terms of who you think most Americans believe this debate, I say it's either Pence or Tim Scott.
Okay. In the military as a result of that. I've been a blue collar kid, minimum wage.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut this, not the stream, but I'm gonna cut these people's off.
When I went in, and that is not easy to do. Had a lot of opportunities to make money, but I wanted to serve, and I'll never forget coming back.
Yeah, that's why you fly on those private planes. Anyway, I got to cut them these people's off. I got to. So Parker, you asked me before I get off the stream, I gotta tell who I think won. Again, I'm gonna go with my last answer. I don't know. Because I'm still trying to get on here and find out when the Libertarian presidential debate is so I can prepare myself for it, and I can't find it anywhere. So this is a call to all of you who are watching. If you know when the first Libertarian presidential debate is going to be, let me know. I think the Green Party's is going to be in November. I'm almost certain of it. But I don't know if that'll be, I'm pretty sure it won't be televised. But it's got to be better than this. I'm watching some idiots. I mean,
love to have an opportunity to have this country pass a balanced budget amendment that would constrain the spending in Washington in the same fashion that it does in every state in our nation. Number one. Number two, if you want to actually reduce our national debt, you have to grow our economy. In order to grow our economy, you need to create about 10 million jobs to grow our economy at 5%. You can do that in three specific sectors. Number one, the energy sector. We could create between 3 and 3.5 million jobs.
I'm still trying to think who won, because really, I mean, if this is a contest of the lowest of the low, I gotta agree with you. I think it's either gonna be Pence or Tim Scott. I'm gonna say somebody's. Oh boy, I don't. Who won? I mean, they all lost because none of them are getting my vote. But I think they're gonna say Tim Scott because again, Mike Pence has about as much personality as a bowl of soup. I mean. I don't know. I think they're gonna say Tim Scott.
I appreciate Tim. We've known each other a long time, but he's been there 12 years and he hasn't done any of it.
And you appointed him.
They've only given 4 budgets on time in 40 years. He was the national debt for the spending. He has made sure that the borders are open.
And you appointed him. You appointed him. So where have you been?
All these guys have said, and I appreciate a lot of it saying, I'm the only one up here who's gotten in the big fights and has delivered big victories for the people of Florida.
Why is he?
It's hot in there. When they're shooting arrows at you, are you going to be stand up for parents' rights, stay free? Are you going to be able to do all those things in the state of Florida because of our success? The Democratic Party lies in ruins. We have won the big fights. We have turned our state into a Republican state. People respond to leadership. I've done it while others have talked about it.
CEO, we actually have a CEO. If I may briefly interject here, zero-based budgeting. That's the way businesses are actually run. Start with zero as the baseline for the budget, and then see what's actually necessary. There isn't a blue state or a red state in this union that does it. The federal government doesn't do it. But successful companies, including the ones that I've built as a CEO, will do it. I think we need a CEO.
Yeah, what is what?
Energy questions, you don't ask anything. But I'm just going to say right now, when you say nobody else is doing it, energy plans that have all been announced in the last month by these other folks on stage, we're already doing it in North Dakota. The border plans,
Go away.
we've
Go
got
away.
troops down at the border flying helicopter missions from North Dakota, from San Diego to the Gulf Coast, trying to stop transnational organizations from
I think what we gonna do, we can say it's 7 minutes. I'm gonna cut this 7 minutes early. So everybody, thank you all for joining. It's been a long evening. I'm gonna do my best to find out, because nobody answered my question about when the Libertarian Party debate, presidential debate is. So I'm gonna have to find out, and I don't know how I'll find it out. I got some libertarians I know, so I guess I'll ask them. Thank you all for watching. I couldn't take no more. 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 In terms of winners, I still think they're going to say Pence or Tim Scott. I agree with you, Parker. Vivek, DeSantis, and Nikki Haley win the award for most annoying in the debate. Christie kind of disappeared. The other guy from North Dakota, I still don't know what his name is. Doug something something. Sit down. Call this campaign an end. But again, I want to thank everybody for watching this stream with me. The drinking game didn't work out quite the way I had, because by the time the first 45 minutes were over, my drinks were gone and I didn't feel like getting up. But thank you all. Remember to subscribe to this page, share this and other videos I have online with your friends, your family, your frenemies. Remember to watch Thursday, because I will be back to the Tracy Show. It'll be back on Thursdays. So watch it at 7 p.m. I will see you all when I see you. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.